Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the Borough Council meeting to order for Tuesday, October 8th, 2024. It is 7:30. Notice of this meeting was published in the official newspapers and prominently posted in Borough Hall and filed with the municipal clerk in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act. And I'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm going to ask our Life Scout, Evan, to lead us.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Laura, if you could take roll call, please.
Mayor Coth is not here this evening. Mr. Carnival.
Here.
Mr. Staff is not here this evening. Mr. Tashian.
Here.
Mr. Kern.
Here.
Mr. Gullo.
Here.
Ms. Hara.
Here.
All right, we're going to start with our presentations this evening. We first have Life Scout Evan Minich, if I pronounced that correctly, who will be talking to us about a Eagle Scout project that he's looking to do. So Evan, come on up and welcome.
Thank you, Council. I'm Evan Minich, and I live at 696 Oradell Avenue. I'm a Life Rank Scout in Troop 36, and I'm here to present my Eagle Scout project proposal. And the project that I would like to complete focuses on the construction and installation of bat houses throughout the town. The purpose of this project is to create a safe roosting habitat for local bat populations and to help control the mosquito population in our town. Bats play a crucial role in our ecosystem, and by providing them with bat houses, we can help support their health and survival while also benefiting our community. Some facts about the bats in northern New Jersey is it's home to several bat species, the most common being the little brown bat, the big brown bat, and the eastern red bat. A single bat can consume up to 1,000 insects in a night, which significantly reduces populations of pests like mosquitoes. Many bat species in our areas are facing challenges due to habitat loss, making conservation efforts like this one more critical. And some benefits for bats in our community. Bat houses provide safe roosting sites, helping to support bat populations during these challenging times when a lot of their natural roosting sites no longer exist. Bats provide natural pest management. With bats helping to control insect populations, our community can reduce reliance on chemical pesticides, promoting a healthier environment. This project can also serve as an educational tool for local schools and community groups, raising awareness about the importance of bats and biodiversity. Involving scouts and volunteers from the community in the construction and installation process will foster community spirit and teamwork while educating participants about wildlife conservation. And by providing habitats, we can help improve local biodiversity, making our community greener and more resilient. I've identified several sites around the town to meet the recommended conditions to install bat houses, and these conditions include a site that will receive 6 to 8 hours of sunlight a day in a southern-facing location. The second is the bat houses must be installed at least 12 feet off the ground with no surrounding trees or branches for 20 feet in any direction. Also, it is recommended that the site be near a natural water source. The locations I've identified meet these requirements, and my goal would be to install a minimum of 4 bat houses. In conclusion, this Eagle Scout project not only supports the conservation of bats in our area, but also brings numerous benefits to our community. I respectfully request your permission to proceed with this initiative. Together, we can create a positive impact on our local ecosystem and community health. Thank you for considering my proposal, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you for your presentation. Any members of the council have questions?
Yeah, that was great. Thanks, Evan. Do you have an idea of just general areas, the 4 general areas that you've identified initially?
Yes.
Not holding you to it, but just to be helpful to know.
Yeah. In Memorial Field Woods, there's an area between the 2 ponds that's a good spot. By the community garden, by the pool, the woods at the corner of Grove Street and Elm, there's like a little woods area that also is a good spot. And the parking lot near Oradell Ave, across from the train station, also is a good spot.
Are you limiting it to 4? I know it's a big project, and you're going to probably be doing the majority of the assembly yourself with the troop, but if there were 2 other sites or other sites that maybe the town identified not holding you to it, would you consider potentially doing an extra 1 or 2?
Yeah, the minimum's 4. That's what we at least want to do, but we're willing to do as much as possible.
Well, be careful what you wish
Yeah,
for.
not too much, but like, you know.
But you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the DPW or the environmental committee may identify other areas that they deem that have more insects type
Yeah.
thing. But obviously, there's criterion in terms of the height and you know the openness, et cetera. So that you had just described. So maybe once you get more of a definitive list, I'm doing your job. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, just share it with the council. Really, you can send it to the borough clerk, just so that we have an idea, and then Mr. Tajian can reach out to the environmental committee.
Okay.
Sorry, Roger.
No, not a problem. So just so you know, this is actually something that I've been requesting for years from the Scouts. So thank you for taking the bull by the horns on this, or the bat by the wings. And I'm hoping that this can actually be a multi-year project, because there are significantly more than 4 sites in town where it could warrant this. And so thank you for doing this, and thank you for doing the research. As you know, we spoke about, you know, there are specific requirements in order for them to thrive in town, but I think the health conditions alone are such a positive for us. So looking forward to seeing it, and, you know, based on council vote, thank you for taking this.
Thank you.
Of course.
I also want to thank you, Evan. When we came here back in '74, we used to see bats every night flying around, and each single bat eats thousands of mosquitoes. And since mosquitoes have become a real problem, I think what you're doing is such a health service and also a wonderful idea. So congratulations and thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
So just one practical question. Maintenance of these houses once they're built, what's required?
As long as they they can last like a long time, and it'll be like kind of like cemented into the ground, so it won't really have to like move a lot. But I mean, it's like once there's like a storm or something, we can just go around, check the bad houses, make sure they aren't damaged, and if anything like does pop up, we can just repair it.
And the houses themselves don't need to be cleaned or maintained or anything?
No.
No, okay. They're just...
The droppings actually fall to the ground underneath it, and it's actually just...
I'm sorry, Roger, could you speak into your mic? We're not hearing you.
Sorry, the droppings actually just fall to the ground, and it's a good natural source for the soil. So,
Mulch.
yeah.
Excellent.
In a
Thank you.
nutshell.
All righty. Ed, I was just going to ask you, who should Evan coordinate with at the borough with regard to this project? Would it be... Okay. So you can start with our borough administrator, Ed Hines, and then he'll direct you to whoever else you need to be working with to make sure it's a successful project. Okay. I think by the comments of the council, we're supportive, of course, of this, so we don't have to take an official vote. But once again, thank you for bringing this project to the council, and we wish you great success with it.
Thank you.
I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to share, or it's your time. Whatever
Yeah, no,
else.
I'm good.
You sure?
That's all.
We're not rushing you off.
Oh yeah, just one more thing. Sorry, I completely forgot.
That's okay.
I just need to get one thing signed off. It is a project beneficiary approval, and if one of you guys would be willing to sign it, that'd
Okay.
be great.
I think we'll have our borough administrator,
Okay.
Ed, sign it, so he can do that right now.
Thanks, Evan.
Could I make a quick announcement about cell phones?
Sure.
Okay, I just want to make a quick announcement while he's doing that. The idea of cell phones came up, and those of us on the dais are turning off our cell phones because they recycle with the cell phone tower and interferes with the OPTV sending out the signal, and at home it looks like on the line, and people get upset, and that includes anybody in the audience, so thank you very much. If you will please turn off your cell phone when you're here during a mayor and council meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you so much.
Alrighty, so next up for the presentations, we have Lieutenant Dave Gangemi and Sergeant Roger Pressburger, who will give a presentation on the Street Smart campaign for 2024.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thanks for having us. I'd like to introduce from Street Smart, New Jersey, Mike Johnson. We also have in attendance the county traffic engineer, Nancy Dargis, with us this evening. Our AAA representative was unavailable to attend, but Mike, we're going to give you a little presentation on exactly what the program entails and its duration, what our part will be as the police department. It's not only for enforcement, it's also for education.
Lieutenant, your guest is on the line as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Come on up, Mike.
Will it come up as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
We should also introduce Abdullah, who is a student, a junior at Riverdale High School, and had written to me about this project. And I'm delighted that he's here and that he's involved. Thank you for coming.
Well, Council, thank you very much for taking the time for allowing me to come be on your schedule. My name is Mike Johnson. I'm the manager on the bike and pedestrian team at Easy Ride. And in a nutshell, with Easy Ride and the bike and ped team, we're the Bergen County's contact for the Safe Routes to School program. With Safe Routes to School, our focus is providing and trying to find safer ways for boys and girls to get to school and to get home from school to school and home safely throughout the day, and also to look for ways to improve bike safety, pedestrian safety throughout the community. So a Street Smart campaign really ties in really, really well for Oradell. With me, Abdullah was already introduced. Also on the line is Will Yarzab. He's a representative from Street Smart, New Jersey. And when we get to his spot, he'll be able to present and describe what Street Smart is as well, too. So we go to the next slide. And Will, you want to take over now for a couple of minutes?
Sure. Good evening, and thank you for having me. Sorry I could not be there in person. Again, my name is Will Yarzab, and I work for the North Jersey Transportation Planning Authority. We are the metropolitan planning organization for the 13 northern counties, and of course, Bergen County is included there. We help manage about $2 billion in federal surface transportation dollars, and I know we've spent lots of money in Bergen County to improve infrastructure. The small part I play at NJTPA is that I help promote pedestrian safety through our Street Smart New Jersey pedestrian safety program. And I am really appreciative of our partnership with all of our TMAs, including Easy Ride TMA. So Street Smart New Jersey started in 2013 when our funding partner, Federal Highway, told us to try to address the pedestrian crash issue in New Jersey. Now, while NJTPA only covers the 13 northern counties, Federal Highway told us to make a program that can be used statewide. So to date, we have partnered with about 260 different organizations, mostly police departments, throughout New Jersey to do some form of Street Smart. In a nutshell, like Click It or Ticket is to encourage people to use their seatbelts, Street Smart New Jersey is trying to educate and encourage people to share the road safely, especially when it comes to pedestrians. So we use public education, outreach, and enforcement to do that. Now, enforcement is totally up to the local community. The police department normally knows best what the citizenry of the community will tolerate and how best to get them to comply with the laws. So I use enforcement as a general term. That could be an officer just giving someone a verbal warning right up to issuing a ticket. We have messaging for both the driver and the pedestrian. We've did these messages based on crash reports on what we found were the big contributing factors. So with our messaging, we have several ways to get those messages out. It's through social media, through signage, two-sided posters, outdoor signs, lawn signs, tent cards, cup sleeves, coasters. And again, you're very lucky to have Easy Ride TMA. When they lead a campaign, we find it to be very successful. Mike, would you like me to go over what the campaign consists of, or what would you like me to do next?
No, I think that was a good intro. I think I can, if you want to stay on the line, Will, and just pick up if I missed something. Well,
Of course.
okay. So with Easy, what you'll see on the screen there, so what is Street Smart New Jersey? And Will pretty much he kind of covered it also. It's a public education and enforcement campaign to raise awareness on the traffic laws in New Jersey. We want to promote safe behaviors and a focus of all road users, pedestrians, cyclists, e-scooters, drivers, everybody. And the key is to reduce crashes and fatalities on our roads. Now, with the campaign, we had an initial conversation via telephone back in August, early August. Yeah. And we discussed, and we were looking for a Street Smart campaign. You really want to focus on one intersection. That intersection could be chosen based on volume, crash history. We were looking at the intersection of Grant Avenue and Oradell Avenue. So that's an area of focus there. Now, what we would do there, next steps are to do like a kickoff campaign. A kickoff campaign is that's when we have press releases. We make it a big announcement, press, etc., at that particular location. And that location right there, over the through June next year, we really want to focus on safety of that intersection, and then find ways of, if there's any issues, what can we suggest or what can we discover to improve the safety there for pedestrians, cyclists, scooters, etc. Okay. During the campaign, after the kickoff, then we have an education and promotion. Education is pretty much throughout the campaign. Education on our part, what we like to do is go to schools, senior centers, and provide complimentary safety presentations, bike safety presentations, pedestrian safety presentations, driver safety information and presentations. And that's, again, everything here is complimentary as well. We place signs at that intersection. The signs are in the front. You can't see them, but they're a good size sign at the intersection, in both directions. And there's signs that say, we look before a crossing, we stop for pedestrians in the crosswalk, phones down, eyes up, etc., just for there's education right there. Posters are also provided, and we've also provided some posters already to the lieutenants who maybe distributed to schools, but posters, tip cards, postcards with information that can be distributed at vendors, delis, etc. And we also promote on social media. Every Wednesday we have a social media post, courtesy of Will and Street Smart, and we like to put a hashtag for Oradell as elsewhere too, so people can just really see that. One thing that's needed, and it's good to go now over to, is there's a 2-week enforcement period by the police department. That's a key component where at that intersection, 2 weeks that are comfortable and beneficial and the right time for the officers. They have an enforcement campaign there just as a reminder, speaking to people, education, etc. Many times warnings and summons are given out, but whatever, it's really emphasized on their part, that intersection and the importance of safety at that intersection. Something new we'd also like to do as well, too, is something called listening sessions. The Highway Traffic and Safety, this is one of their new focuses. Really get out into the public and listen and speak with them. We would like to maybe have go and meet we can go to libraries, centers, PTAs, PTOs, anything, just so we get in people's and other people's feedback on that intersection, and that we relay that and put that in our final report. Observations. We'll go the intersection to visually just see what's going on at that intersection too, just so we can see it for ourselves. And the optional, something that is new also too, we can do a speed study. Now, speed studies, we've done a few speed studies now. We're in the process. We're finishing up and midway through on Roselle Park right now. And a speed study, optional. It's not mandatory, but it gives good feedback also too. Somewhere not close to the intersection, but at a distance from the intersection, at an area where there's speed, a concern there. It could be a 2-week speed study. It could be a 4-week speed study. If it's a 2-week, it's 1 week. The first week it's in stealth mode, so the display is up, but the speed is not shown, but it's still recorded. The second week we'll put it on just so the numbers are recorded so the driver can see. And we put that in one side. Now, if you just want to do one side, fine. But if you want to do like going south and then going north, we can do that as well too. And we'll flip it around so it's a 4-week. That also can be done twice too. If you want to do pre-campaign, post-campaign, beginning at the end, just to see if the campaign has been successful in reducing speed at that intersection. And then we take all of our data, all the education, the speed study, et cetera, and we have a final report. Cross fingers, the goal is always a year later, so June of 2025, we'd like to have a final report that's provided to the police, municipality, et cetera. And this slide here just shows the impact. Speed is obviously, when they say speed kills, they're not kidding. Here you'll see that 20 miles an hour, if somebody is struck by a car at 20 miles an hour, at least 9 out of 10 chances they'll survive. But if you just double that speed to 40, and who goes 40 anymore? But at 40 miles an hour, it's like 1 out of 10 survives. So that's why the campaign is really important to try and look at speed, slow people down. Okay. And this is just some of the key messages and materials that are provided complimentary by Will and us as well, too. There's drive smart information, walk smart information, street signs, tip cards, table tents, posters, etc. Again, they can go to schools, vendors, etc. So there's a lot of good promotional material. Yes. And then you'll see the upper left-hand corner, it says safety education. Not only do we provide safety complimentary presentations to the schools, but we can also provide bike rodeos / bike safe skill courses outside, so the youth can go over their particular skills, their signaling, their stopping, and practice those skills with us, just so when they're old enough and they go on the road, they learn and they already have the skills down for safe riding. And then bottom left is a picture of our team at a speed study. And then when we do observations, these are some things that we look at for observations. Are people using the crosswalk? Are they not using the crosswalk? Is a driver cutting somebody off that's in the crosswalk? So we look at things that are done correctly and not. And these are just some towns that have, there's many more towns other than this that have done these studies as well. So. And then for us, we had our initial meeting again on August 5th via telephone. Since members here of the council didn't attend, that's why we thought we would like to come here and present to everybody here. During that time, we were looking at potential stakeholders. I mean, if there's buy-in from everybody and we're in on it, everybody wants to do it, who else can be involved in it? And these are just some of the names of the stakeholders we were looking to maybe participate as well, too, in the campaign, to continue to spread the word. We were looking at the superintendent, maybe leadership at the library, the senior centers, obviously the police and others as well too. So we're just still looking for as many stakeholders as possible to spread the word, just so we can continue have a very successful campaign. And then from there too, the next thing, if everything is a go, we would like to have a kickoff. And again, that kickoff is an event, preferably kickoff maybe closer to that intersection. And the kickoff could be during the day. It doesn't have to be nighttime, but whatever's comfortable for everybody. Good kickoff date where maybe Will, who might come from Street Smart, might be able to attend. If the mayor would like to attend to say a few words, the chief or lieutenant or sergeant would like to come and say a few words also. We would MC the event. It's about 25, 30 minutes. Press is involved. If you get one, press is involved, just so it's good kickoffs, just to give it a good boom to get it going. And then throughout the listening sessions, education sessions, the educational period, and the post-campaign speed study, if you want to do any kind of speed studies. And that's pretty much everything. Next, now, if everybody would like to perform and have this, the next thing we would like to do is schedule a time for a kickoff, if that's possible.
Got a question.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a couple of county roads in town. If it's a particular county road or county intersection, would we have to coordinate with them as well?
Well, we chose Oradell and Grant because they're both municipal. and municipality, and that's a lot easier. Once you get the county, things just go a little slower. It just takes a little while longer to get okays, approval, et cetera.
Okay.
So we wanted to choose an intersection that we could just pretty much get started quickly.
Yeah, I wondered about that because I noticed you had looked at the main Kindercremack corridor there, and that's really our biggest problem. And that's where most of the kids are crossing, and there's restaurants there, and a deli, and people, and in the theater, and people are cutting across, and it's our probably most difficult. I don't know if the police would agree with me, but I certainly, as a citizen, think that it's the most difficult intersection. Those three streets that intersect with Kindercremack, but it was because of the difficulty of getting the county on board quickly that you decided to do just municipal roads. Was that?
And I believe, if I remember correctly, we had a discussion. We thought maybe if we started this intersection, and then as we hit a home run with this, then progress to maybe another intersection, which could be a county road.
Because Oradell Ave and Grant Ave is not as developed as, let's say, Oradell and Kindercremack, which has traffic lights, pedestrian signals,
Right.
painted crosswalks. So a lot of the program has to do with implementing all these things, and Oradell and Grant has basically none of that.
So it's the ease of doing it, you're saying, because it's a simpler intersection?
It's simpler, but it also it needs to be the focus of our attention right now. We're limited on what we could do on a county road, but it has the pedestrian cross signal, it has the painted crosswalks. But Nancy is here from the county, and she is willing to work with us. But the chief, the mayor, felt that the best place to start would be Oradell and Grant.
Okay, because they do speed on Grant, and I know that's a problem, and they whip
do.
into Oradell Avenue. And,
Yeah.
All right. It would be wonderful if you could expand it at some point to include that Kindercremack corridor.
This is a great starting point.
Excellent. Thank you.
And when does the campaign start and end again?
Whatever the kickoff date is, that would be the starting point.
Okay. And the goal is to get a report done by June of 2025?
June 25. That would include our data that we found from either it's studies, education, et cetera.
Okay.
Enforcement and any improvements we make to the intersection with the help of the town engineer and the DPW superintendent, whether that's painting crosswalks, more lighting, upgrade of a signal, anything like that.
Okay. And do we enter into a formal agreement with Easy Ride or the county, or how do we formalize our participation in this program?
Yeah, just say yes.
Just kind of like Evan's Eagle Scout project?
Yeah.
Okay.
But one other thing, too, and I'd like to bring Abdul in this also, too. What's really, really cool is, and he didn't know this at the time, this could tie in with the high school and him as well, too. He contacted us, I guess, 8 weeks after we had the, after weeks afterwards. And he reached out to us and said, hey, I'm paraphrasing. I'm a student. There's an intersection at Oradell I like to focus on for a project. And that was Oradell and Grant was the same intersection too. Would you like to have any feedback on why you chose that one too?
Yeah. Sorry. So I initially chose Grant and Oradell as part of my research project at Riverdale. I heard from my peers who live here that that intersection they particularly dislike for how unnecessarily difficult it is for them to cross, especially since there's no lights, and how usually when they're trying to cross it as a pedestrian, they have to control all four ways of traffic just to cross, which to them is very difficult. So it reduces the incentive for them to use it, which I found out through research induces the demand for cars to be used as the only form of transportation, which isn't as efficient as children walking to and from school or biking. So I used that as the opportunity to start my initiative and my research. And I'm also trying to get people at my school involved by participating in the Redellion, having people writing in the newspaper at our school to kind of kick off also my peers to be involved, and to them to tell their parents, and get more almost a domino effect of people to come by and follow up with these possible changes that could be made. So, yeah.
Thank you. That's commendable. Any other questions from members of the council?
No, I just wanted to say I really loved your email. He sent me an email saying who he was, and I'm a junior at Riverdale High School taking science research, and it's part of my research project on safer road designs. I've been working with Easy Ride, and then he goes on to explain it. It was very cogent and very specific, and I was very impressed. So I'm delighted that you're a Riverdale student. Congratulations. And I'm delighted that you've brought this project to the town.
Likewise. Anybody, we're all thumbs up and supportive? Okay, well, thank you very much for coming. Thank you for bringing this to...
Is there any date for the kickoff not to be? Is there any conflicts?
I'm sure we're going to have to figure out the right date, but we'd rather do it sooner rather than later.
Ed's office?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, preferably before it gets too cold. We did one last year in November. It was like a little chilly out there.
I mean, the only thing I'm thinking about, and Eileen is here close to that intersection.
On that intersection.
You used to be the intersection before your driveway was fixed. But that's a tricky area in terms, I mean, you guys are going to be the masters at that. So if you can pull that one off, good luck. So.
Yes, I grew up on Merritt Drive, so I think it's great that you're focusing on that end of town. So,
yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you, Will.
Yes.
Thanks, Will.
The voice in the box.
Okay, we'll continue on. Discussion items.
Hit the light. Turn it off. Yes, thank you. Sorry, I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right, so for discussion items, I don't know if anybody has anything, but I do have a report that the mayor has asked me to read. And so I'll read this report, and then if anybody has any other items, we can certainly add them to the list. So the mayor sends his apologies for not being able to attend tonight's meeting, but he has asked me to read a report. So since our last meeting, we have experienced both sorrow and joy within the borough and our extended borough family. It is with deep regret that I announce the passing of Joan Murray, wife of former Mayor Joseph L. Murray, Jr. For those of us who knew Joan, we knew her to be a woman of deep faith who always had a smile on her face and could find the positive in anything. I want to extend our deepest condolences on behalf of the borough to Mayor Murray and his entire family. Joan will always be known for her spirit, outlook, smile, and love for her faith and family. She will be missed dearly. I further regret to announce the passing of James Moran, father of Fire Chief Terry Moran, a Korean War veteran and a 55-year member and ex-chief of the Maywood Fire Department. Please join me in extending our condolences to Chief Moran and his entire family. Phase 1 of the PSE&G paving is scheduled to be completed tomorrow. I appreciate everyone's patience and understanding as we worked through the Jewish New Year. Tilcon, PSE&G's contractor, completely resurfaced 11 borough streets curb to curb at no expense to the borough. Some striping, which will be of minimal inconvenience, will be completed by the end of the week, which will bring this phase of the work to a close. This evening, there is a resolution before the council to authorize staff and our professionals to begin the implementation of accepting electronic payments for programs, merchandise, fees, and other revenue collected by the borough. This is an initiative to make engaging with the borough easier and more convenient for our residents and customers who utilize the services of various departments that levy fees, such as for building permits, licenses, registrations, recreational activities, and other services. There will be a convenience fee associated with certain transactions to cover the cost to the borough for providing this service, which is consistent with many other municipalities around the state. However, we believe this is a necessary option to provide a greater efficiency of borough operations. Please stay tuned for additional information as this process gets rolled out in the coming months. I expect us to be fully up and running by the end of the calendar year. Sunday, October 6th was a terrific day for the borough of Oradell. I want to extend my most sincere thanks to all of our borough employees and volunteers who participated in the planning and execution of the parade, ceremony, and festivities to welcome Hesley and the Rivera family home, the focus of Oradell's 2024 Family Day. The Rivera family extends their sincerest appreciation and love for Oradell. Henry, Hesley's dad, shared with me that Sunday was so meaningful and special to them because it was about Hesley. She wasn't someone in a parade. The town made it her day, and we did it like no one else would. Sunday was blessed with picture-perfect weather, the presence of our Olympian and her family, and a huge showing of dignitaries, residents, and extended family who enjoyed spending time with one another. I couldn't be prouder of Hesley, the Rivera family, and this town for turning out to celebrate together such a significant achievement and day. This event was no small lift. It was planned in weeks across departments and outside agencies when normally months are required. While stressful at times for all involved, our community and those involved in making it a reality rose to the challenge. Without open minds, a desire to make the borough shine and let everyone beyond our borders know what Oradell is all about, we would not have been successful. Thank you to all of your efforts and services to Oradell. So once again, that's a report that the mayor wanted me to read. And with that, I'll ask if there are any other discussion items that the council would like to raise.
I just had a few quick points. I wanted to congratulate also, I second everything the mayor said. I thought Hesley Rivera Day was wonderful. I met her parents, delightful family, and everyone in Oradell had glowing faces. It was the most wonderful celebration of Family Day that I've seen since I've been here. It was terrific. And so I congratulate everybody, the DPW, the firemen, the borough staff, the police, everyone who was involved. Thank you, thank you. I also wanted to second the mayor's comments about Joan Murray. She's the most wonderful, sweet, gracious woman and will be sorely missed. I also wanted to say October 15th is the last day to register to vote. This is a very big election, as it's a presidential election as well as other offices. If you please verify that you're registered to vote, and please be ready to vote on November 5th, and take your citizenship seriously. We would like you to Oradell to have 100% turnout. And then lastly, I wanted to say that I wanted to find out if you had anything more on honoring people. I know you were working out some sort of a resolution, and I wondered how that's going and where we are with that.
So it's an ordinance that we're going to be working on, and I have done an initial read-through of a document that Mr. Bailey provided to us. But we still have to kind of go through it and make changes that I think will work best within the borough of Oradell. So I would imagine that you're probably looking at maybe November when it will be ready for introduction, if not sooner. But it will take some work because it's a fairly extensive ordinance in its current form, and we just want to make sure that we structure it for the needs of Oradell.
Thank you. Thank you for your work, and Bill, thank you for your work. We appreciate it.
All righty. I will then open it up if there's any old business that we need to cover. Anything from our professionals? Old business? Okay. New business, I just wanted to thank the Environmental Committee and Council Tashian. I just, a couple of Saturdays ago, it was miserable weather, and our members of our Environmental Committee were out there planting mums to help beautify the downtown. And I just thought it was just another great example of the volunteerism of Oradell and how people work so hard to make this community look good and be so successful. I just wanted to call out Catherine Jury, who's the chairperson of that committee, Tom Kelly, Rachel Kugamas, and Evan Danzik. If I missed anybody, I'll recognize them at the next meeting. But once again, in very inclement weather, to see people out there volunteering to plant the mums and make the downtown look nice. And they did the corn stalks as well already? Okay, and so I just think it's, a tremendous effort, and I just wanted to thank them for putting out that effort. Now we'll go to public comment. First up is for non-agenda items.
Can't turn it on earlier.
That's your sign, Paul.
Good evening, Paul Atsunas. The Hesley Rivera Homecoming Parade and celebration was an uplifting event. And it's for all of us. The family day that followed, the weather was great. The parade was great, a great outing event for all. And thank you to all, DPW, the fire department, everybody took. It was a mass thing in order to accomplish this, and everybody worked together. So when we all work together, we can sure accomplish great things, can't we? Okay. Now, my question here, did we comply with the September 16th report to the DCA concerning the status and details of all affordable housing units for non-residential and residential fees and all the fees accomplished? That was on the New Jersey Municipal Magazine that I stated at the last time. Does anyone know if we did accommodate them?
I believe we did. I know our special counsel worked with our planner on getting that information down to the state. Okay, because we didn't know about that until I read the magazine, and it had that thing. By the way, you can't get that magazine, but if you want to see the great article, many pages on it, you have to download it from the internet. I was at the librarian today in the reference area, and she told me that they didn't print any for June, July, and September. I don't know why, but they didn't, so we can't get them. But you can get it by downloading. The other thing I want to say is we must address the Blauvelt Mansion property, and as Joanne Young told us, we could lose the art museum that is visited by school children and adults, and a place where many town lectures and events take place. It is a great asset to our town. I don't want to lose that museum, and I don't want to lose the Blauvelt either. But losing the museum also on top of that would be terrible. So let's go, Oradell. Rise to the occasion, save the Blauvelt Mansion, and let's get on this. Somebody get on this. I went by today to Care One, and I found out who owns it. It's a Strauss family, and they're from Fort Lee, New Jersey, and I'm going to contact them and see what they have to say. I also talked to a person that was there at Care One that goes into the building and looks at it, and he's a maintenance person, and he didn't seem to say that there was anything really, really wrong or right about it. So that was that. Now, the other thing is about Governor Murphy. Sanctuary status is a threat to our sovereignty status and of our community in all our towns. And this issue also of the New Jersey Municipality October issue, which they just got it today, and I read it, had the article about the affordable housing and the 60 towns, and that we are opposing and trying to get it changed so that everybody has a distribution of equal units through all the cities and towns. The article is in the library, by the way, and it is a hand carry issue. The other thing is I'd like to hear from the candidates that are going to be running for the positions, and I would hope that they come out and come and speak to the public on OPTV, as we usually do. Okay? So please make time and an effort to do that. And I see I have 30 seconds left. Okay. That's it.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Any other member of the public wish to speak on non-agenda items only? Once again, each speaker shall have one turn and shall not exceed 5 minutes. Please identify yourself at the microphone and remain courteous.
Good evening, Council. Good evening, residents of Oradell. Ori Katzen, Laurel Drive. I come here basically to repeat what the mayor was saying about the Oradell Family Day. I think it was a great event. Like you said, it begins with a perfect picture perfect weather and continues throughout the day. But the planning, the organization, the logistics, the promotion of it, which I think the website of Oradell was the only place that was lacking a little bit of promotion material. Like if you click on a schedule on that day, it was not there. So this is something maybe for next year to put in. But I saw it on social media. I saw it on other publication. I got 5 postcards in my house in the mailbox, 5, not 1, about it. And I really think that this was a great event. And I want to just let the people of Oradell know, those who did not attend, they just missed a great event with great people, and even people from not really from Oradell who showed up, which I met them at the beer garden and at the food area. They commented how nice Oradell is doing that, and they said, oh, we wish we lived in Oradell. So people of Oradell should be proud in the organization and the logistic that this town has, and I really like to congratulate the DPW for doing a great job. As a vendor who was setting up even before sunrise, I can tell you those guys, even from the day before, did a wonderful job. Dan, I believe, from DPW, was orchestrating the entire operation there, and it was running very smoothly, including the takedown. That was really nice. Here, the Borough Hall and their part did a nice job of the logistics, and things were going pretty smooth. As a vendor, I can only comment that the ceremony was taking a little bit longer than what I'm sure you guys even scheduled it to be. So I was expecting this to end a little earlier, just like the time. So
You know how it is when you have 20 politicians on the grandstand.
Yes. Yes, I can imagine that. So I really came here tonight as a resident to let you know, and as obviously a vendor, someone who rented a booth and experienced high traffic and experienced positive on every level. It was just a positive reaction from people, and I really like to thank whoever was involved, and hopefully next year it's going to be the same and even better. I heard it's going to be mingled with the Oradell 5K, if I'm not mistaken. Just want to let whoever is planning the event for next year know, as a runner, okay, it is nice to run in the morning in low temperatures hour, but if you're going to make it the Oradell Family Day as late as the 19th, like this year, the Oradell 5K is going to be, the weather for the Family Day may not be as warm and and nice as we used to have it. So usually it's done in September, I understand, and when the weather is usually nicer. If you push it to middle or end of October, it may be too cold for next year. So just keep that in mind. Either get the 5K a little earlier or find a date in between that could be. So that, again, well done to all those who were involved. Well done. Okay? That was
Thank you.
The first agenda, the first non-agenda items. I would just like to comment on a presentation that took place here before. I think that was one part was missing from that, from the Street Smart or Drive Smart program. I don't think that the resident of Oradell got to hear from the people in here who pays for that. And I went outside and I asked the guy if the residents of Oradell are paying for that. And as far as he was telling me, it's no. So it is nice to implement programs here, but the residents of Oradell need to know if it comes out of their pocket. Okay, so as far as I heard right now, it's a no. So I hope that is the case. And I suggested to the guy that the actual people who should be paying for this program are going to be the violators. That means if they get caught at that intersection violating the laws, the speed or something, there will be an extra surcharge tacked on it to pay for that program. And every intersection that this has been implemented, the violators should be paying for it. And as we all know, Oradell Avenue and Kinderkamak Road have a lot of, or I would say most of the traffic is out-of-town drivers. If out-of-town drivers are violating the laws inside Oradell, they should be paying to implement a program, a safety program like that. Why should the people of Oradell who are trying to cross the road should be
So, Mr. Katzen, I would ask you to be respectful of the 5 minutes, which your clock has already...
Oh, but it was a 3 item. Okay.
Yeah, we do have another public session, but that's for agenda items only.
Okay.
So...
and the last thing, I would like to also say the parade for Hesley was great. It's nice to welcome Hesley in here. But I would like the council and the town attorney not to forget that we here in the town had another true hero, just like Hesley, which worked very hard to achieve what she did. We have another true hero that is not among us anymore. And that true hero is long overdue to be remembered and memorialized with an ordinance that I forwarded to the mayor 5 versions. I forwarded one, then I forwarded another 4 versions from other towns, and I would like the council to consider that. And as far as I see it, the goal date for implementing the honorary street sign, as per my proposal, would be March 29 of 2025, which would mark the second anniversary of the death of Sergeant David Solinas, who is no longer among us, and I consider him a hero that has not yet been honored by the town. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other member of the public that would like to speak on non-agenda items only? With that, I'll close public comments for non-agenda items only, and I will now open it up to the public for the consent agenda only. If anybody would like to speak on the consent agenda. Hearing none, I will close public comment on the consent agenda. Next up would be correspondence. Laura, if you could read the correspondence into the record, please.
Yes. Item number 1 is a thank you note from Library Director John Trouse to Mayor Koth regarding Mayor's Night. Number 2 is a letter from the New Jersey Division of Taxation on the regarding the annual Oradell Equalized Valuation Report for the state for 2024.
Okay, thank you. Next up is the adoption of minutes for the meeting of September 10th, 2024. Did everyone have an opportunity to review those minutes? Does anybody have any questions or comments?
I did not.
Okay.
We didn't really have much time to review them, so.
Yeah, if you want to hold them, it's fine. I meant to.
Sure.
Yeah, they literally came.
Okay, that's fine. We can table that till next meeting. That's fine. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, why are we tabling?
They were supposed to be attached to the packet on Friday, and with everything going on, they weren't attached.
We're late. Okay.
And so I sent them out today.
Thank you. I just didn't hear. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Roger.
We'll now move on to the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda will be voted on through one motion unless any member of the council would like to pull a particular item either for a separate vote or a separate discussion. Does anybody wish to pull any item on the consent agenda?
Councilman Conradell, I just have a comment on 24-242, which is to authorize credit card payments and electronic funds transfer payments. I just want to I think we need to just clarify maybe the title of it, because I want to have it inclusive of digital. There is a difference between electronic and digital. The primary difference is personal device. So something like PayPal, Venmo, is obviously transacted personal device. Electronic is your standard debit, electronic transfer funds, and ACH. So I don't know if we can change title, bill, or if there's something that we just do to adjust the language. That's the first thing. And then the second is I would like to be inclusive or put in there special events, because that's where we would primarily, or that's one of the primary reasons that we would like to have this, electronic and digital. So those are just my two comments.
I mean, we can certainly add digital, but electronic refers to the processing of a payment, so that includes your PayPals and your Venmos.
It's actually different.
So I think the title that's on the agenda is just a summary.
Right.
The resolution, the revised one that I
Right.
have in front of you, specifically names except
Correct.
payments by Venmo, and so
We just need to clarify it, that's all.
Okay.
I don't care about the title, I just want clarification that digital is inclusive, because digital is personal. And that's where we want to do it through special events.
Well, this one actually, the title says authorized credit card payments and electronic funds transfer payments.
Which is not digital.
But then if you read it further, it does say Venmo in here.
Right, but it doesn't specify digital. That's my point. The personal device payment is the circumstance that we run into, or that we would like to offer, is through special events. People aren't doing ACH or wires. They have Venmo, which is considered a digital form of payment.
If I could, just to respond to Councilman Gullo's question, unlike ordinances, the nice thing with resolutions is they can be tweaked right now. We don't have to deal with introduction and a public hearing after. And Councilman Gull did share some language with me earlier before the meeting that if everyone was on board with it, that can just be inserted and voted on with that language, but it's the pleasure of the
Sure. Can you recap what that language is?
Ted, you have it there in front of you?
Yeah, it's or any other digital payment platform. It's just generalizing and being inclusive of digital, that's all. And then adding special events, recreation's in there, building department, it's just adding, special events. Those were the two suggestions that I had.
Okay. Any member of the council have any concerns with those additions?
That's fine.
Okay.
Are you suggesting that be in the title?
No, the title, as long as it's specified.
Yeah, it should be in the body.
Yeah.
Titles.
Okay. Yeah, I was confused. Is what you were saying.
Okay. So you don't wish to pull it, you just wanted to...
No, not to pull it, I just wanted to edit or, adjust it, that's all.
Very good, thank you. Any other questions or comments on any of the items on the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Second.
Do we have to do this as amended? Do we have to, Oh, did you say that?
I said that.
Roger, I'm sorry. If you lean into your microphone, I can really hear you
turn it
better.
on.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Second.
Thank you, Roger.
My pleasure.
Laura, can you take a roll call, please?
Mr. Carnaval?
Yes.
Mr. Tashian?
Yes.
Mr. Kern?
Yes.
Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Ms. Sarah?
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Do I have a motion?
Mayor,
Do I
could
make
a motion to adjourn, please?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you.
Thank you.
Not bad.
Don't forget.